Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on May the 20th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of what we have coming up on Thursday, lots of data, first of all, and then important data here is the unemployment numbers and Philly Fed manufacturing index. Looks like it's dropping, which is not good. But any sort of positive developments here will have a good positive impact on the US dollar. But right now, although there's a lot of back and forth stuff going on in the stock market, and that's driving or that's impacting the US dollar as well. So we'll have to take a look at the risk assets, which is our stock market, our crypto space, and all of that. And we'll have to see, because that's kind of has an impact on our US dollar, because when market goes in the risk off, which is what we have seen lately, then the US dollar gets bid, which means US dollar strengthens. So all the dollar crosses can drop as a result. So that's something to keep an eye on. In the crypto space, we are seeing a lot of problems right now ever since Tesla first sold their holdings, and then Elon Musk came and said that they're not going to accept Bitcoin. All of that is having a negative impact on Bitcoin, and by extension on the crypto space as well in the rest of the currencies. And then we also heard from Chinese officials basically speaking against crypto as well, and they want to come down on cryptos as well, which has made it even worse than the whole drop in the crypto space. We saw Bitcoin just take off to the downside, and that was because of the Chinese authorities coming and speaking up against it. So that's what we have right now. So a lot of volatility in the market as a result of that. In terms of the other news coming up, we have Bank of Canada Governor McCallum speaking here. So in this case, the important thing would be Bank of Canada basically has pulled the date forward in terms of when they're looking at raising interest rates. So any kind of commentary in terms of changing cryptos will have, or sorry, cryptos, any kind of commentary in changing monetary policy will have a impact on Canadian dollar. So if they talk about tightening the monetary policy, that would be good for Canadian dollar. Other than that, we have PMI numbers here for Australia. Any kind of positive numbers will be good for Australian dollar. All right, so let's go into our charts here. So we'll start off with the euro dollar. Euro went into our first target, and this is where this was an important support resistance level. And as we can see, price has dropped from there. So we have a nice bearish candle close here. So looking for basically a pullback and then a continuation here to the downside here. The target is 1.2120 is the first target. And then below that, we're looking at 1.2080 is the second target. So bearish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar, this one actually turned around. And as we can see, bias is bearish here. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle. Now looking for a move back into the bottom of our range here, which is 1.40. So bearish bias here for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one is also looking bearish. We have a bearish engulfing candle close, and next target here is the bottom of this range, which is 0.7680. So bearish bias here, and only if it manages to get through the support level. This is an important support level. Price has failed at this level several times, so we could see a move back into the range. But if it continues, if it does manage to get through, next target is 0.7630. So bearish bias here, but the first target would be 0.7680. New Zealand dollar here, this one as well, price is back into the range. So this is a nice bearish engulfing candle as well. So looking for price to move again towards the bottom of the range. It's been trading in this range for some time now. So now looking for it to head towards the bottom. And this is where we could see a bounce back into the range just because price has failed here several times. So target is 0.7120. And only if it goes through that, then we will look for the next one. But we have to wait. 0.87080 is the next target. So bearish bias for the New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one is looking bullish. As we discussed, this is back into the range. Now it is into a bit of a resistance here, so watch out. But next target here is 1.2200. So looking for price to come back into the top of the range, and then we may see a move back here. And another thing for Canadian dollar here, oil just dropped. And that is negative for Canadian dollar. And this is why US dollar, part of the reason why US dollar has strengthened against the Canadian dollar this week. All right, let's take a look at our commodities. Starting off with silver here, we had a pin bar doji here yesterday. So we were looking for a drop. We got that. And now it is into support. So do watch out for that. Bias here is bearish. The concern will be this support level here. So I'm looking for something like this. Now, if it doesn't go through, then we have a problem here. But once it continues, we're looking for 26.80. So bearish bias here for silver. Gold here, gold went in both directions, almost into the target here, slightly shy. Into 1890 is the price that we got. So right now, this is completely neutral. After this big move, it opened and closed at exactly the same place. So we have a big doji here. So in this case, looking for a potential retest of 1875. If it holds, we're looking for a drop back down here. So bias here is neutral. Next, first target here is 1850 and then 1845. Oil here continued its descent. We were looking for a drop. It went right into our second target here. And now if it holds below 63.50 or even 63.80, we're looking for another drop here. So bearish bias. And in terms of our target for oil, we're looking at first target would be 62, which is the base of this candle here. So next one is 60.50. So bearish bias here for oil. Copper here, copper is looking quite bearish. We were looking for a drop. It went right through our target here. Next target here is 4.45 and then potentially 4.40. So bearish bias for copper as well. Bitcoin here having quite a drop here. As we can see, all that comments in regards to China regulating stuff, we cost a bit of a drop or quite a bit of a drop. It went all the way from 40,000 to 30,000 here, and then it bounced off, but still holding below the 40,000, which means we could see a further drop here. So bias is still bearish. In this case, the first target is 34,500, and then we are looking at 32,000, so bearish bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500 bias is still bearish. Now we did see a lot of volatility here as well. Price dropped, went up. So in this case, bias is still bearish. Now, as long as it holds below this 4125 or 4100 level here, we're looking for a continuation to the downside, or at least retest of the low here. So target here is 4050. So bearish bias, and only if it gets through this, then we will look for a continuation. But first target is the retest of the low at 4050. NASDAQ here, this one is neutral to bearish. Now price did bounce off of the support. What we need to keep in mind here is, can it hold below 13,275 or even below the current high for the day? If it does, we're looking for a retest of the low again. 13,000 is the first target. 12,920 is the second target here. Dow Jones here, this one also has the bearish bias to it still. Now, all these pins in the bottom means we could see a turnaround in these asset classes in our stock market. So keep that in mind, but bias is to the downside, and first target is 33,500 and then 33,000. DAX here, this one went right into our second target here, and bias again is to the downside, but watch out, the large pins here. Like I said, this could mean reversal, so keep that in mind. But bearish bias, first target is 14,960 and second 14,000. So bearish, sorry, 14,800. So bearish bias here for DAX as well. FTSE, this one as well went right through our target here. Now bias is still bearish here, but again, keep in mind the large pin. These large pins can signal reversal, so we just have to be careful. Target here is 68.80, so bearish bias here for FTSE as well. And then we have Nikkei. Nikkei is still holding in that range that it established here. So it's still holding below this previous support resistance level. It did get into the first target here. Now we have to see, can it break down and go towards the second one? So still a bearish bias here. Our first target again is the retest of the support at 27,650. And then second one, 27,120. So bias here is bearish for Nikkei. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading trading day, and I will be back again tomorrow with a market analysis. Bye for now.